Hey everyone, Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and this is a review for Dune Messiah. Want to first apologize that this took me forever to review this book, but I have to talk about the sequel to Dune, which I have over here, which is Dune Messiah. As you can tell, I am an extremely slow reader, and mostly have been relying on audiobooks for most of the books I've been reading, but for Dune, I have been actually reading them. They're the only books as of the last 10 years that I've actually been reading. So Dune Messiah came out 4 years after the first Dune novel in 1969, and once again written by Frank Herbert. And this time this book is almost half the size of the first book, coming in around 256 pages. So let's read the back of the book so you guys can have a general idea of what this book is like. Dune Messiah continues the story of Paul Atreides, better known and feared as the man christened Muad'Dib. As Emperor of the known universe, he possesses more power than a single man was ever meant to wield. Worshipped as a religious icon by the fanatical Fremen, Paul faces the enmity of the political houses he displaced when he assumed the throne, and a conspiracy conducted within his own sphere of influence. And even as House Atreides begins to crumble around him from the machinations of his enemies, the true threat to Paul comes to his lover Chani and the unborn heir to his family's dynasty. Now this book is dramatically different than the last novel and focuses on a more condensed story of politics centered on the Dune planet. This is 12 years after the events of Dune, and Paul Atreides has cemented his rule as Emperor of the Galaxy, and his Fremen Jihad was unleashed upon the galaxy, killing more than 61 billion people across the galaxy, and dealing with the after effects by now ruling more carefully to set humanity on a better course, or is it just his own course? However, other forces have not liked what Paul has done and want revenge by killing him and ruling over the Empire instead. Now, I'm going to get a lot of flack, but I thought the first half of this book was very slow and a little boring for me. However, it does pick up and get very interesting when Paul's vision gets affected, and let's just leave it at that. Now, in the Dune novel, it's centered on Paul Atreides, him being this hero figure, later on in the book, of course, and then assuming the mantle of Muad'Dib and then becoming emperor in the end. However, for me, I saw Paul transform in the end as a villain, personally, because he didn't put any effort to stop the jihad that was unleashed upon the galaxy. Now, I do understand that it would happen regardless in his prescience vision outcomes for him. But the fact for me that he didn't stop it or want to stop it in any way, he just kind of gave up. He knew in any single way he couldn't do, it wouldn't stop it. But the fact that he didn't even try, it really bothered me. And I foresaw him as the villain in the end. But I would sympathize if he at least tried for me, in some way or form, but in the end, he didn't. So I couldn't see Paul the same, but wanted to give him a chance and see how he approached things as Emperor now, for 12 years now. And throughout this novel, Paul gets his prescient visions, telling of outcomes for the future, and he was seen as this all-powerful figure who seemed invincible and predict everything. However, in this novel, that's not the case, as he couldn't predict everything anymore, and towards the end, it really shocked him to his core and cost him everything in the end. But he did still find a way to pave a way for a better future for his offspring. In the end, this was more of a tragic story with Paul, and I felt sad for him. Very sad for him, but especially Chani and her children for what they had to went through as well. It just, the ending makes you feel depressed in the end, but curious to see how it plays off in Children of Dune for the next chapter. I swear, Frank Herbert really has a way to write such a unique story full of interesting characters and really pull you into it and not let go. And just right now, from what I've read with Dune, it is a far compelling universe and tale than Star Wars ever has been. And this is coming from a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong. Very interesting stuff, really cool stuff that happens. But Dune is like a whole nother fucking level. It is just super fucking compelling. You also have a few other characters. Jessica, surprisingly, does not in this story at all. She's actually in her other planet. I think she's just afraid of Paul Atreides at this point, and she doesn't want to be with him at all. But you have Alia, in this, a little bit older Alia, and then a returning Duncan Idaho, which were very interesting in this. And you had some other characters as well, which I will not spoil. But I am going to be excited to see Jason Momoa return as Duncan Idaho, because he was so good in the first movie. I'm just curious to see how Denis Villeneuve pulls off a lot of interesting moments in this book, because this is going to be the centerpiece for the third movie. It's going to be the entirety of the Dune Messiah story is going to be the third movie of Denis Villeneuve's trilogy. So I'm going to give Dune Messiah a... While it's a little slow and methodical in the beginning, the second half is where things get interesting and exciting and also depressing in the end. So if you haven't seen my last review for the first Dune novel, check it out over here. But I want to start Children of Dune right away. But I don't expect a review for this anytime soon, unfortunately. Probably next year, because I'm also doing the X-Wing series as well. But yeah, look out for Children of Dune whenever that comes out. But definitely check out my first Dune review as well. So don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of Dune Messiah in the comment section below, and subscribe to my channel Django Fett if you haven't already. I'll see you, my fellow Mandoin, brothers and sisters, next time. Ooh, yeah.